Great laning stage, good against the Darkseer, and I think it's actually going to be a Silo Storm in the safe lane.
I would agree. And he does well against Storm,
Yeah.
or against Darkseer, like you said.
He's played a few games of Storm too, so it's not something unfamiliar to him, even though he's known for his kind of carry performances on heroes like Anti-Mage or Morphling or whatever it may be. Not something I think of like, oh, Silo's an amazing Storm Spirit, but
it's a good Storm game so far. They do have one last pick. Maybe you prioritize someone with a little more lockdown now. Maybe this is, where you go for the Lion. I suppose had Phoenix expected a Storm, they may have preferred to have a Wyvern instead of a Witch Doctor, but hindsight, of course, 2020 at this point.
Yeah.
I think Lion's your hero.
Yeah, you need that lockdown, because you can't expect Queen of Pain to be able to deal with the Storm alone.
10 seconds
you don't want to go for a greedier jungler, because Naga and Darkseer both may need the woods. Naga would love to have it, and there you go. Well, we called like quite a few picks, buddy.
We're on point today. Bringing out A game. It is TI, so we decided to try a bit. Okay.
Not too hard, just a little.
All right, we'll put in 30% for this cast.
You don't want to see us. You don't want to see us at 100%, guys. That would be scary.
So
here we go.
I like this overall draft from MVP Phoenix. I think the Darkseer pick kind of all-in-ish with their overall strategy. They've gone for the wombo combo team fight. At the same time, it's not just a one-dimensional strat. It's the split push Naga Siren who can control the game with the big team fight. If LGD theoretically should have a strong early to mid game while MVP are trying to farm up the Radiance. And the one thing MVP Phoenix can do to defend towers is throw out the sleep, set up the combo, and try and take team fights with that.
All right, folks, we're into it. Our second of 3 matches here that Gods and I will be bringing you on stream number 2. Getting underway. Should be a great one. Be the Naga emerging. MVP Phoenix looking for the trump card, just like Hot 6 did yesterday. This could be the hero that gets them a game win here against LGD. LGD do come in as heavy favorites, and should LGD 2-0 this game, they are in pole position in Group A, and I think at that point, the chances of LGD not being top 4 are very slim, so LGD really searching for that 2-0 here.
And it's so nice when you secure a top 4 pretty early on, because then you can use your remaining group stage games to maybe try out a few different picks.
And you can start hiding strats if you want. You don't have to show any important picks just to get through.
Yeah, so getting off to a good early start just means so much, whereas if you're kind of borderline, you're throwing out all your best strats to try and finish in that top 4. So it's a comfortable position for LG to be in should they win this series, but they've still got to beat MVP, so we'll see how things pan out here with the Naga Siren.
Plenty of tale of a favorite coming into a match who overlooks the opponent right in front of them and starts worrying about the one down the road. LGD, of course, they've got Secret on the docket tomorrow, but here comes the level 1 skirmish. We're going to start this one off with a bang. Immediately the cat's bouncing. It hits 3 times. A great start. Follow-up stun connects as well. They're trying to burst on MMY here, but it's Febby also dropping low, runs into the pit. He'll be the trade, and the Remnant doing heavy damage to KP. A 1-for-1 exchange. Barely the first blood going the way of Febby. So LGD, the ones who end up with the slower start. First blood does go to the Witch Doctor, and that will be an early pair of additional sentry wards for him, it looks like. Or actually, I think he brought the Circlet next. And he trots down bottom. This is an aggro tri-lane Naga, Gods. It's a Queen of Pain solo mid against the Tiny Wisp. And then it's going to be a Darkseer safe lane versus Tusk.
I think really smart decision from March, the captain here, because you know that dual lanes are coming your way. The IO doesn't really want to leave Tiny alone against the Queen of Pain. You're going to get bullied a lot by the Shadow Strike harass, so they can really cause the Storm some problems as far as getting farm. If he can't walk in to use Remnant to farm, he can sit back and try and last hit, but against a Witch Doctor Lion, not much of a hope there to get much farm for this Storm Spirit. They haven't blocked the pull camp, though, so that's going to be the approach for LGD. Just deny experience, deny as much as farm as possible by just continually pulling when possible.
And you do have to be careful if you're MVP here with your supports. You have a tri-lane, but they both have 1 armor against the Dazzle heal, as well as a 5 armor Storm Spirit, so you don't want to start trading blows too much by yourself. You really want to make sure your buddy's nearby and use your teammates wisely. So look at the mid lane. LGD already broke down the trees, and they have begun the stacking. They only got the single stack off, and it's the medium camp. Not ideal, but we'll just see them continuing to look for the economy. In the top lane, good news for March is this is a pretty decent lane for Darkseer. Your safe lane, you can go farm your own woods if you want to, as they move in again bottom. And you can get a lot of gold out of this.
Yeah. I think they want to block the pull camp with this Sentry of Thebes. There is one D-ward available for LGD on Zhao 8, so they want to make sure they don't get the D-ward off with that, but right now he's just manually body blocking the pull camp. This pull camp is the most important thing for this tri lane versus dual lane here at bottom.
And one of the we saw that in the Cloud9 match yesterday, where they I think if they failed 2 or 3 times on the D-ward, and it really cost them in the laning stage. And ultimately led to their demise later on in the game.
When you have a weak safe lane that can't farm in the lane, you have to use that pull camp. Like, that's how you beat an aggro trial, denying them XP, trying to starve them out. I mean, even here at 2.5 minutes in, Lion and Witch Doctor both still level 1, so they have... It's going to be a slow leveling process. They want to try and give KP more experience out of the lane, as well as more, obviously, all the farm, but the pull camp just helps you out so much. Mid lane, QO taking a bit of harass, but Salva arrives. And
there is kill potential here if you're not careful. If Queen of Pain gets caught by the Avalanche, she's dead. And if she wastes her blink, she's also most likely dead. So despite the escape mechanism, it is a lane where you can die. You need to play it cautiously. But if things continue as they look right now, Gods, assuming there's no deaths on the MVP side, they are out farming LGD. They are going to have 2 fairly underleveled supports at this rate. But they've been blocking the camp. They finally dropped the Sentry Ward. They even blocked it with some illusions. And they manually body blocked it previously. So they have done a nice job at slowing down the pulls. Zhao 8 went back to check again, and he'll be met by some very ugly Witch Doctor illusions. Not what he wants to see.
Yeah, this is ideal lane stage for MVP. They're winning 2 of the 3 lanes, and mid lane is going fine for QO. It's not a 1 lane for either side. The Queen of Pain is getting good CS, and maybe actually being out farm. So in some ways you could say mid lane's even a win as well.
That's of course largely due to the IO stacking, as we see MMY looking to play for a couple minutes from now.
And when you're winning 2 of the 3 lanes...
Oh, Sylar. He's been caught, but look who's already rotated. It's almost like they expected this jump in from MVP. Suddenly a Wild Wisp arrives. She's level 3, and this is going to be a lot of trouble for Nuts. Couple more auto attacks. Can they get him the Witch Doctor heal? Doing work? Not enough. Does fall. That was just such a good timing for the rotation, and there was really no reason to expect that dive except just game sense. They didn't have any vision of a gank coming. It's not like he TP'd in. He's just, I should head towards bottom, maybe thinking about the 4-minute rune, but he didn't even sit at the rune. He ran past it towards the lane.
Yeah. I think some slight baiting as well, like good play from Sylar where he put himself in a slightly risky place where it wasn't too obvious that he was baiting, so he draws in that aggression, and that was just smart play from LGD.
That's why this is one of the scariest teams at the event right now. As we'll see the Avatos attempted, QO able to blink out. Gotta hold that blink as he does.
Yep. And you've got to stay as high HP as... You always need to be full HP, otherwise you get comboed. So he's going to have to chew through multiple bottle charges. As much as he wants to be invis, I think he's going to keep bottling.
Now the good news for MVP is their Darkseer is totally free farming. So obviously Tusk is also, but Darkseer is a hero that we've seen just get nothing out of the laning stage. And it is the trade-off here for maybe falling a bit behind bottom. The Naga's farming, the supports are getting slightly underleveled, but they are going to have that fast mech potentially for March, and that could make a difference here moving forward. Though he's starting to get into the danger zone. A Walrus Punch might be enough to kill him with the Snowball Ice Shards.
Farming the jungle too much as well, so the farm between him and the Tusk is very even, and Tusk is actually top of the net worth chart right now, so Yao getting a lot out of this lane.
Yeah, as you would expect. You can't really kill him or deny him. You can only get your own farm here.
Things will settle down. At some point, MVP will be forced to rotate the Naga Siren to the safe lane, or also just so he has access to his own jungle. But for now, they feel confident that they can still compete with Sylar's farm, but it's going to become too risky. Around the time Wisp hits level 6 especially, you can't lane in this off lane forever.
They switch into the dual lanes here, and they'll focus on experience as well as some stacking of their own. Double stack now going to come out. See the rotation towards the top burn, and what do you know? It's a delicious regen rune, which MMY will happily bottle up. The bounty rune already snagged bottom by Sylar, so rune control going the way of LGD as QO begins his first movement off the middle lane, now swinging towards bottom.
Well, they see the storm, and he has not hit level 6 just yet.
It could be an opportunity, but he's also tanky. There's actually no mana for a Grave. He's going to have it in 10 mana. And QO makes his move right now. He walks into the creep wave. He's going to tank a Remnant and then just has to walk away.
Yeah, weird timing.
Very awkward gank by QO that amounts to nothing. They are getting experience for Nuts mid, but it's not how you want your first rotation to go.
Just didn't time it with the creep wave coming out. Mid lane, Nuts alone. That's an easy Avatos as maybe goes in and the kill goes to MMY. Can't be.
They see QO bottom and they know they can go, so that's where Nuts has to sit even farther back, but he didn't get to buy his boots before dying. He is looking like food for this combo, potentially.
Yeah, QO mid lane, out of HP. This is where this lane gets incredibly dangerous for him.
He could easily die here. Yeah. You can almost kill him just with a toss at this point.
Yeah. If he gets in range for an avalanche, he's done for.
And so he's sitting here, just getting experience, not really farming.
Kind of hoping maybe for a level 7 here, but...
There's your avalanche, and the toss, dunked down.
That's sloppy play. This is where, like, you have that bad start as a Queen of Pain, like, you have a failed rotation, and then you just say, okay, I need to get back in this game by playing greedy, but this is kind of like, you go and tilt. This is basically what's happened to Kyo, where he didn't have the best... his lane stage the first 2 to 3 minutes was fantastic, but then when he had the failed rotations, he's thinking he needs to do too much, and you make those kind of plays, which is just not something a more experienced player would make.
LGD back to the jungle where they have a quad stack waiting for maybe, and this is just going to blow his economy out of the water. Going to pull very far ahead of everyone in MVP as he cleans this up. Becomes the most farmed hero in the game. Maybe completes the treads as the bracer, maybe even goes towards a blink dagger. We'll see if he wants to just get the drums or if he looks for a more aggressive item. Xiao 8 trap mid, they try to stun him. He did TP, had to cancel, but the snowball comes in. It's going to turn against Nuts, and they'll get the trade here. It might even be 2 heroes. This Q already used the blink. He's going to engage with the ultimate. Can't quite get maybe. Who survives on a fraction of HP? Oh, if he could have snagged the tiny kill, that would have been worth it, but instead another death for your Queen of Pain, and more momentum going the way of LGD.
That's brutal.
The way the game's going now, gods, it feels like there's only going to be 2 real things that can turn this for MVP. Either the Naga getting out of control with the Radiance, but that's a long way off, or maybe the Darkseer getting involved with an early mech, though he's still got a ways to go before he completes it. Got the Arcane Boots and the Soul Ring, so extremely heavy focus on the just mana, basically, for the laning stage.
I don't even feel like they're going to be looking to team fight around the Wombo combo. So for one thing, they didn't even level Song of the Siren at level 6 on KP. He went for more points in the Riptide and Mirror Images. He now rotates to the safe lane, so he basically says, my time in the soft lane's done for. Storm's level 7, Wisp just hit level... Well, Wisp is level 7, not just level 6, so it's too risky for him to be there. He wants access to his own jungle as well, and he's got to make that jump to Radiance, which is going to be a pretty big leap right now, just sitting on 1100 gold.
Just compare the way MMY's gotten to play this game to how it was when IG were running the Wisp, where Faith was constantly under the gun. We saw LGD 3-4 hero smoke gank try to steal neutral stacks. They were putting aggressive wards down. They were not giving breathing room to the Tiny Wisp duo, but MVP are giving that breathing room, and they're giving up kills elsewhere, and the difference is clear in the items. MMY has an additional urn and 1,000 gold, I would say almost directly on top of what Faith had at this stage of the game. He's just so much farther ahead on the Wisp.
To be fair to Faith a little bit, it's come from misplays from Phoenix where they've got kills that they shouldn't be getting in this mid lane. Like, not taking anything away from LGD, but that was like mispositionings first from the line and then from the Queen of Pain in mid lane where they just gave freebie kills away. And then that recent team fight was kind of like that was less of a bad play from MVP, but the previous solo pickoffs where heroes just sitting there trying to get experience, those shouldn't happen.
Yeah, it's also just the general game plan. They haven't really tried to pressure mid at all. They just leave Queen of Pain there. Lion came in once more defensively than anything, and then ends up dying when Queen of Pain leaves the lane, so...
Yeah, it's hard for Kyo because he's used to getting so much support in the mid lane. Typically, MVP really picking Earthshaker, Bounty Hunter, and camping his mid lane to secure him a good early start. But when they pick this Naga and do this aggro tri-lane, Kyo's going to adjust from having no support, from having all the support in the world to having no support whatsoever.
It feels like that one go bottom. He just started basically, face palming. Crap, I really screwed up. And then just got a little frustrated. So let's see if he can recover now. MVP bringing 3 heroes towards the bottom lane. Yao is somewhat in the neighborhood, and Sylar is such a tough kill. It's Nuts running in. He reveals the smoke. They didn't actually see anyone else, but the way he was running at the storm was pretty much a dead giveaway. There was a gank coming, and we are going to see a different type of Tiny Gods. This is not the Burning Axe rush. This is the maybe I want a frag build. He can a lot of easy solo kills. QO's a solo kill. Febby is for sure. Nuts is. The Darkseer with Wisp backup or Storm backup is also a kill. Anyone can basically die. Even the Naga of KP is a kill.
Yeah, Darks is probably the one slightly hard solo kill with a bit more HP. And
yeah, you'll need your level 9 for that, but he's about to get there. And well, let's get the party started. Says maybe first kill on the board. And they'll be looking for more as this game continues.
He's even thinking about like diving the tower, and it's like, maybe not yet. We're just 12 minutes.
This is really the power of the Blink build. It's not even that kill. It's the way MVP are going to play now.
Yeah,
they're going to sit back. They're going to be afraid of the tiny jumps. They're definitely not going to want to pressure him without 4 or 5 heroes. And now if he wants, he can just play the farm game. I feel like you don't even have to get more kills. We see an engagement towards the bottom rune. QO's going to drop. Good pick off again for LGD. Looks like he was going for the rune and gets punished for it.
Like watching the way KP's been farming on Naga, it's super defensive. He's only sent illusions into lane. His heroes always be in the neutrals. He's been very limited in the farm available to him. He's kind of farming very little as far as the lane creeps go, and only with his illusions. He doesn't feel safe sending his main hero into lane.
And that's even with 4 LGD heroes actually on the bottom side of the map. They're feeling a little scared, and I mean, I guess who can blame them after the way the game's gone? Maybe going to drop down an Observer Ward, and Febby, oh boy, Blink, Ava, Toss, don't even need the Tusk, he's just here for...
the KS.
The KS, yes, basically. Now they get the wards dead. They've got Relocate, they've got the level 6 and more on Storm, and this is feeling like a game that could end very quickly if MVP don't start pulling out some amazing defensive plays.
Yeah. Radiant Vision is just... brutal right now for MVP.
It's nighttime and they're moving on through the tree line. May have wrap on bottom. If they wrap on bottom, could be 3 heroes going down. They'll get in too. MVP playing in the dark right now. Nuts could be the first victim, about to get caught up by Maybe. This is setting up for a 4-hero Avatos. They even smoke. It's about to be broken. Maybe in position to ruin this.
March should know they're there. He's pinging it.
Oh, the smoke's broken, and they're going in anyway. They say, screw it, man. Let's just jump, and that could be a really poor decision. They try to get Siler. They will pick him up, but the Avatos comes. Only catches Febby, who's been necked up and kept alive, actually turning into a great fight here so far for MVP, but they buyback on the Storm. MMY still alive. Snowball comes through. That'll end Nuts with an uppercut. And now the buyback from Siler, getting nothing done.
Fight.
Really good for MVP.
Space for Naga as well. Really important there is that they drag all the heroes towards the bottom lane. The smoke popped and they pinged where the heroes were, but they said, look, we don't know who that is. This is a Storm who thinks he's safe because he has backup here. We can insta-kill the Storm, and they did so perfectly with the Sonic Wave and everything. And then it's kind of like you accept that you're going to lose someone to the tiny combo to get that kill.
That's a kill you don't want to give up. KP, fortunately, he got that haste turn. Almost soloed by the tiny. If he dies there, that completely wipes out everything they just accomplished, but he is barely able to live. QO might not be so lucky, though. He's totally out of mana here. Does he have stick charges? Not going to get anything off, even if he did, and he had already popped a stick. I think popped it, but didn't get to blink.
Yeah. For MVP, they just want to try and slow things down. They're going to have to, I think, keep going for these 4-man smoke ganks, because that's a good way to create some room for KP. Unfortunately for KP, his entire jungle's warded, so he's in so much danger of getting relocated on. He can see, if he sees the relocate, he's going to instantly song and then just TP out, so he does have that defensive maneuver. And
but that only works once. It's a 3-minute cooldown. They will be able to go again with at least one more relocate.
It does reveal the wards too, like, so if you blind relocate on him, it does give MVP a lot of information about what's happening on the map.
LGD again making a move, shouting. Yeah, they want another ward, I think. And they're swinging around for it.
They really want.
They get revealed. They drop the ward. It's almost in range of the tower. I guess not quite. Nuts getting caught by the uppercut, and the finger is available. Doesn't want to use it just yet. Relocate coming in, and they're bringing in the tiny. They're looking for 2. QO starts taking a clubbing, and he will end up falling 2 down. And the ward does get destroyed, but now they drop the wall, and they look to turn with the death ward. The toss will quickly cancel it. Cass was bouncing. They get 1 counter kill. Febby kept alive by his own heals. Surprisingly tanky as he rings around the Rosie. Survives for ages until Sylar finishes him off. March simply unable to do it alone. They even brought in the Naga for this. KP wants to get involved. Sylar still has mana, though. That's not a kill he can claim. Unless he gets quadruple bashed by Roche, he'll be fine. But KP is close to his relic.
Yeah, this is not going
horribly over.
No, definitely not. Naga Siren is being played very cautiously, isn't going to have an amazing time on Radiance, but it'll be a manageable time for MVP Phoenix. KP has just played so defensively, and that's exactly what has been needed this game against Relocate, against a Blink Tiny, and his team have had to give up a lot of kills to kind of create even just a tiny fraction of space for him.
They're giving up another. QO, it's your turn again, my friend. Maybe dunking him, all courtesy of the Deep Observer.
It's better him than the Naga. It reveals the ward, and it's not a kill the Naga, so...
It's a lot to give up, though. The Queen of Pain is feeling like a total non-factor. It seems it's going to be Naga versus the world at this rate, but we have seen those games where Nagas can pull it out.
I still have flashbacks to like the old Titan when they were playing with Miracle, coming back from 30k gold deficits. They they sentry the wrong place, but they have a second one, so...
I guess the one difference is teams are a lot more experienced against Naga core now than they were back when that old Titan was playing it.
And this is still the Tiny, who's a great hero dealing with this.
Nuts. It's his turn to get uppercutted, but he's kept alive for now. He pops. He tries to run. He goes back for the stun. He didn't pop his stick. Ends up falling. Queen of Pain not getting a whole lot done. There's the heal. The relocate came through, and they get two. Both supports melting again.
Didn't even need to use the mech on Yao as well.
KP has to song. That is Relic Gold now, but they're going to give up the tower here, and maybe more. Yao wants an additional kill. Doesn't quite manage to trap in March with the shards, as LGD continue to press their offensive. Zylar, meanwhile, gearing up for more of a carry build here, going towards the Bloodstone, and rather close to completing it at this point. At some point, he is just going to be able to solo kill the supports as well. And then you've got the Tusk, the Tiny Wisp, as well as the Storm, who can all just run around the map, farming these 4 and 5 position heroes, maybe even QO. And then on top of that, Shao8 says, okay, you guys want to go late? I'm going to get a Midas. So you're going to be dealing with 5 farmed heroes with your 1 Naga.
It's a great support item against Naga, so... MMY has a Glimmer Cape completed as well, so both supports on the Radiant side going to be transitioning well into the mid to late game, so they're more farm than the Queen of Pain. That's... Both supports... I mean, okay, Dazzle is less farm than Queen of Pain as far as net worth goes, but... this is a Queen of Pain with just treads, whereas Dazzle actually has like a 2k gold item in the Midas.
At this point, MVP have pretty much made their bed, gods. And now they got to sleep in it and see how it feels. The Radiance is coming.
It feels dirty. The Naga, it feels very dirty.
Even if you get a good night's rest, you still wake up and you're like, I need a shower. Last night was tough. I was sweating a lot.
Radiant's bottom tower is
AP with a relic and just he's got the Radiance. It's up in a second.
Duo in danger. Walrus punch coming through. Tiny in position, looking for the follow blink, and he does connect again. Maybe the drive-by dunk. Snowball not going to pick maybe up on the way, and just a solo roll through by Yao. But the Glimmer Cape really dodges most of this incoming damage as they continue to engage. MMY keeping his buddies alive. The Death Ward zones in the back. They even deploy the wall just to try to salvage this, but maybe tanks through it. And LGD keep on rolling. And no, by the way, there's still a Storm to fight. He goes onto the back hero, the March, Darkseer, who will end up dropping as well. It's 4 down, and this truly has become a 1v5 game at best, a 1v9 game at worst, because these other 4 heroes are just feeding LGD 21-4. This is the level of dying that sometimes even a Naga can't carry.
Yeah, I mean, there's full protect 1. This has become a 4 feed to create space for 1. As
it's rough.
It really is. This is just the nature. This LGD draft, the blink pickup on the Tiny was just such a good way to snowball, and the warding giving them such great vision and control over the entire game. And
as well as the usage of early smokes. I feel like every smoke from LGD had an impact, be it a deep ward, setting up for a relocate, or just getting an early pickoff. They just didn't give MVP any breathing room. They didn't let Naga finish the Relic first and then start ganking. As soon as they had the level 6 on the Wisp, as soon as they had the Blink on the Tiny, hell, even as soon as the Tusk of Yao had his levels, they just start moving immediately.
And QO just getting shut down so badly in the mid lane as well has just been such an important part of this game. He laned and CS well, but then once he started moving around the map and once LGD had their kind of killing combo ready to go, it's been, I mean, he's 2-7. He's been the majority of the kills that LGD have gotten.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Hopefully MVP can keep their composure. Tough though when you're down this much, and they have to know they're down over 10k gold at this point.
It's one of those things where KP's probably saying like, okay, I've got this Radiance, yeah, we're in a terrible spot, but we can hold. Let's delay this game and just hope for the best. But it's so demoralizing when you're just getting wiped after wipe after wipe that mentally you're just in a bad place right now, even if there's still hope for MVP.
March has picked up the blink. He's got only a level 1 wall though. That's scary at this stage, but can be really good later on against Tiny. And they might even find the Tiny Wisp here. This could be a huge play. Who gets the initiation off? It's maybe with the stun that stops March. They back him back. allows the relocate to go off, so they're only going to lose a Wisp.
They're not going to lose a Wisp.
They're bringing in the whole squad.
Get out.
And it's LGD looking to counter any sort of jump here. They won't lose a thing. It's a smoke committed for solely a relocate, and now maybe rushing in. He's got 4 heroes in position. LGD giving no quarter, giving up no freebies, go right back to pushing, and right back to pressuring.
They just couldn't find the Wisp there, and they can't go on the Tiny because the relocate out is always going to be there. MMY, just really nice position. Also just difficult because it was nighttime. If they had something like an Observer Ward, they could have planted in the lane to give him some extra vision. Obviously, you don't really want to. You don't think of Observer Wards as a ganking item, but it would have just helped them out a little bit.
The problem is at this point they have no towers top, so getting to a point where they can drop a ward that's a very difficult situation. Normally, you've got your tier 2 up at this point, but not even that's available to MVP. And on top of that, maybe with the super quick reactions, gets the avalanche off, delays the Darkseer running in, and that deprives them of even more hero vision they were hoping for.
AP now bo2 travels up, so he's keeping up and progressing nicely with his items, but
KP, they're hoping for the hour-long game. LGD, they're looking for the 25-minute one.
Yeah. It is a level 2 Sonic Wave. That's an important level acquired for the Queen of Pain. So if they have to defend racks, Sleep combo with a Vacuum Sonic Wave at least does a little bit more damage. Every little bit counts at this point for MVP.
Well, ideally, if they want to fight, they want to do it with the tower still standing. That is an important bulwark for them. And they have TP'd back the Naga. KP has Song, but he's also no longer visible bottom, and LGD may just back off. Wait for a better opportunity. At the very least, they're going to wait one more creep wave here. I believe one of his illusions did cut the early
Yeah, he did cut the previous wave, which was very important to slow down this push, buy them some time, and he's got more illusions up. He needs to just be sending these around to deal with this mid creep wave.
He doesn't want to
try and maneuver like through the secret shop or through your jungle to cut the mid lane somehow. You can't just... I mean, he's going to send it forward with an Iron Shell. This is actually maybe going to be enough on its own. Yeah, so the push is over for LGD for now. They decide we can come back later. We're still... I mean, LGD is still... They're sitting so pretty right now. Like, they're not in a rush by any means.
I mean, look at Yao just roaming around the enemy jungle by his lonesome. He's got the Shadow Blade, and Sylar, he gets hexed off the bat. He may end up actually dropping here. Bloodstone deny. He can't. The back's steady, and they relocated on top of this, but this may not go LGD's way. Or maybe it will. There's the Song. They lose the Witch Doctor. They even force it out. That may be cue for go time. Storm's coming soon. There's no wall. There's no Song. I think you just go down mid if you're LGD gods.
Still a Sonic Wave.
Or maybe you look for something safer like a tier 2 or a Roche. But it feels they should look for an objective after that.
And Storm's respawning quickly with the Bloodstone timer, so it's... For now, it looks like a tier 2 bottom tower. They're also trying to find a pick off at top. March alone has a TP scroll, but here comes a Shadowblade Tusk.
A lot of damage from this. Level 2 Walrus Punch. Or actually, he's only got the level 1, but it should be enough to put a hurt onto March. Gets the snowball, waiting for the uppercut, and he stops him mid-surge. Well played. Patient play. There's no points in the Poison Touch. The ball in just a second slate by Sylar. Will retreat. Bill, you can see the endless pressure. While they're busy looking for a kill top, they're also pressing in the bottom lane. And relocate is up again. LGD can look for another go. It forces LGD or MVP to just run as a squad of 4 or 5 at all times.
KP split his illusions, one in each of the 3 lanes. He's creep skipping the bottom lane. He's pulled the mid lane right to the tier 2 tower. He's doing a great job of stalling this game though, and giving MVP at least some hope.
Oh, maybe he went in with the avalanche, but he got almost immediately hexed. Nuts was ready for this, and now the 2 heroes stun comes out. They might be able to get MMY. They back him back in. The mech keeps him up and fighting chip. He's got to relocate, doesn't end up using it, and Yao just go to work with the auto attacks here. They beat down one. They're gonna look for more at this point, and Nuts is trapped with it, but they slowly fight him. They drop the wall. It's just cooled down in time. KP might be able to finish. Maybe he will. He ends a godlike streak. It actually goes way up. The Darkseer would have loved for that on KP, but they will take the kill either way, and it's a 2 for 3. Needed the Storm there for LGD. They got a little cocky and underestimated MVP's ability to fight with 5 heroes.
Luckily, Naga did not get that kill on Tiny. Otherwise, you're looking at...
If she gets that, that's the Manta.
Manta, and then Octarine Core is coming up quickly. And then things get tricky for LGD. I mean, even if Naga does reach the Manta Octarine Core, but by no means is this game suddenly like looking good for MVP. But they have to reach that point to stand a chance. And, well, it's still going to be some time before we get there. Darkster, unfortunately, doesn't benefit a huge amount from the gold necessarily. I mean, he's sitting on 3.6k gold. May look for something like a Shiver's Guard, which is still like it's a nice high-impact teamfight item, and they're going to be forced into teamfights. That's LGD's draft here. They're going to force teamfight.
He may even look for something like a Hex to deal with the Wisp and the Storm. I wouldn't rule it out at this point, but... Yeah, gets for now this Mystic Staff, which can go either way. Generally, I'd say it is the Shiva's Guard, but still open-ended.
They need just whatever damage they can get in the team fights, because Naga doesn't want to like fully commit to running in, but...
Yeah. And QO is
they stole the gem, so
farming.
KP's roaming around with illusions that have true sight. A great way of dealing with the Shadow Blade, the Glimmer Capes. That's another big win for MVP, who can now actually get back some map control, de-ward a lot of these aggressive wards, and just the one Radiant ward near the mid lane, which isn't really in a key position by any means for them.
Really have to highlight how big Nuts was in that fight. He was the one that got the 2-hero stun on the Wisp as well as the Tiny. If he doesn't get the IO there, there's a Glimmer Cape, there's a Relocate out, and I think at that point MVP at best just run away, and at worst just end up giving up multiple kills. So. To me, Nuts definitely the hero there.
Everybody too. Like QO was like fully committed, blinked in, knew that was like the moment to blow up the Wisp, threw the Sonic Wave just to kill him off as well. Like that was, I mean, just the right call and a great play coming out.
That's how you got to play against Wisp, man. You don't half-ass it versus that hero. You throw every spell and then some extras as well. And if you've got a day gun, you throw it in there too.
There is still hope for MVP Phoenix here. That is the worry.
Could we see some more heroics from another Korean team versus one of the Chinese juggernauts? We're not at that point yet. They are still trailing by an enormous amount of gold. They're down 11,000 gold, 15,000 experience, and sure, they've got the Naga, but LGD have the heroes to clear the illusions. They've got the heroes to move around the map and deal with split push. And they have heroes that scale great in the late game to match up against the Naga's combat prowess. But... there is a breath of life here, and for MVP fans, that's all they want right now.
And forget Manta, KP wants to go for the Octarine call first, feeling like this is just going to be a more crucial item, so it's slight differentiation. You see both the Nagas.
He's got the gem, and he may get caught here.
He walked past a
Yao could initiate this, and yeah, he doesn't have the high ground vision. They're going to ball in off the bat. KP, is he feeling it? They're going to go bottom instead for the safer kill on the Q. They allow the Naga to live, but in the end, they secure at least a guaranteed frag.
Maybe with like a snowball pull into a relocate, they could have gone on the Naga, but it's...
They have her with the full combo, but if Naga just happens to press R first, then you get nothing.
Or Naga gets... like, once Naga walked past the ward into fog, Naga maybe sees the Tusk with the gem.
March gets caught out here, but he's not really that strong. There's the two of them together. LGD forced to back, but the rest are coming in. The Naga illusion giving vision of Shao 8, who continues to press forward. They did drop the
illusions,
wall.
keeping lanes pushed out. One at mid, one at bottom, and one in towards the top lane as well. This is
LGD forced back again. It's starting to get a little frustrating. Something Black talked about when we were eating with him the other day was KP he thought he needs to work on his illusion micro, and it looks
I don't know what he was talking about.
It looks like he has. These illusions are cutting the waves. They're really keeping LGD back.
He was telling me like, dude, you got to tell KP. Whenever I tell him, like, he laughs at me, like, because he would like send 2 illusions to the same lane. I have not seen that happen once this game, so I don't know. He's either improved it or
Black was full of it.
Yeah, because this has been very good Naga play. I mean, it's been up there with like as good as it gets. I mean, it's been a rough game. You're playing from behind, and his team. I'm not taking anything away from his team. His team has created space for days for the Naga. Sometimes, most of the time, at the cost of their own life. But as a result, MVP still in this one.
Well, the Roche will fall. LGD seems the call has been made. Let's slow the game down. We're not going to be able to end this at 20-25 minutes. We have an excellent late game in our own right. We can find those picks later. Let's get the lanes pushed out. Let's continue farming our core items. And let's look for safer opportunities. Not overcommit, not try to do this Yao versus the world, or maybe an MMY running in like they are unkillable gods. But now they group up as 5 as a courier. It's like, oh, that was the Octarine, I believe.
No, it was the Shivas and the random.
Okay, so much for that. No more slowing it down. Let's just go down mid, LGD. Say they're pushing it in. Where's the illusion to cut the wave mid? There's nothing here. They're going to have a fresh creep wave, and they're already into the base with some. And MVP are going to have to fight. And gods, I don't think they're ready for this. even a slight slip, and mentally, it might cost them heavily here. They're going to look to go vacuum wall. They're not dropping anything else from the Naga just yet. She tries to walk in, but she gets silenced, and then jumped on by Siler, who pulls KP back in. They're going to ball forward. He needs the zone. He can't get it off. Ends up dropping. Forced to buy back. Maybe birdie to the illusions. That does pop the Aegis. Xiao Wei may also die to Radiant Spirit as QO engages. Tries to finish him off. They do get Xiao Wei, and they're back in the fray. Maybe's trapped. Where's the Wisp? Where's the relocate? They can't get to him. The death wall coming through. They might get Maybe as well. He needs him, MMY, and he needs him now. QO on the run. Siler trying to hunt him down. Maybe turns around to fight. He survives forever. But MMY was busy helping the rest of the team. And they pop the Aegis, and they do hold. It was not the smoothest hold, but it was a hold, gods, and only a slight gold loss there for MVP.
Yeah.
They do lose the melee racks, but it could have been a whole lot worse.
And even for KP, it's overall loses 700 gold, not the end of the world for him, so it's still going to be a pretty... He was around like 2.3k gold, now he's just like 1900 after that fight, so he'll quickly get to this Octarine call. Problem is he'll have to play without buyback, but that was an Aegis push. You kind of defended that. They did lose the melee racks. They took a long time to engage. The really hard part there is you don't really want to engage because Wisp is seeing so far back, so if you overcommit on any one hero, they get relocated out. They could try and go in with the Song and catch the Wisp and then blow them up in the combo, but that's such an all-in play. Like, if that doesn't work, you lose the game off of it.
Gonna be harder for MVP now. The one other thing is they did not have an illusion cutting the wave mid. There was no deep push from KP there, and you know, it's tough to ask one hero to do everything, but that is the strategy at this point. It's all up to the Naga. KP has to have illusions ready to deep push to prevent an LGD group up, and there wasn't one ready. He does complete an Octarine, so he's going to have more illusions to work with. They'll be up more often. Gives him a little more breathing room, and once the Manta's up, that's where there's always going to be an illusion if you micro them properly. That makes things a little bit simpler.
This is the dream Naga state when you reach that Manta style and makes illusions, sends them off three ways, and MVP is just going to continue trying to hold on as long as possible here. Just the one melee rack's not the... I mean, for a Naga team, like, that's nothing. You can lose even 2 lanes and you're thinking, we still have a shot, so... MVP, though, they've still got squishy underfarm supports. There's no items on either Febby or Nuts. Febby halfway to an Ag Scepter. Maybe an item which could look to give them a little boost in damage, which they're really needing right now, just to deal with the Tiny on the front lines as well as the Storm Spirit.
The Shivas, looking back at how that fight went, it feels like a Shivas could have made a huge difference. They got 3 or 4 heroes down below half HP, and if they're all slowed and taking extra radiance damage, a few more auto attacks from the Darkseer illusions, maybe they're not getting away with half health. Maybe they're dying. So look for the team fight from MVP. That is, honestly, at this point, even though they're down 20k gold, I still feel their team fight is at least as good as LGD's, if not better, just from how synergistic these heroes all are.
LGD have the item advantage as far as, like, across the board. Like, Dazzle and Io are out-farming Queen of Pain. Both of them have higher net worth. MMY has Vlad's, Glimmer Cape, and 2.7k gold. Dazzle about to complete a pipe as well for the team, so that's going to help deal with a lot of that Naga Siren, Radiance plus Riptide damage in a team fight from the illusions. Really handy item to have against Naga.
Or we'll push in this bottom lane. He's, as you mentioned, everybody's farming, and he's certainly a part of that. Got the BKB now, and with a BKB, it's a little concerning for MVP. No Hex, no lockdown of any kind that can deal with him, aside from the Lion, but no blink on Lion, so I'm not sure how Nuts is going to find him.
Illusions go out, and March in a good position to creep skip this top lane too if the situation calls for it, but doesn't look like LGD are going to be going for another lane of racks right now. Probably just pick up their next item or two. Tiny's got, Tiny with the BKB is going to help a lot if they just want to BKB and focus down the tower or racks, so... Next Aegis, not going to be for at least like 3 to 4 minutes, but they can just keep doing this. Keep finding pickoffs. You find pickoffs, and then if you get a really key hero like a Darkseer or Naga, you go for a lane of racks. If not, you just wait for Rocha.
Didn't actually catch that one. Just a quick jump in, the deep wards, and the amount of mana Siler has. He can jump from probably at least a third of the way across the map. And they are starting to batter in all of these lanes. The Naga illusions are being dealt with. There's actually nothing out on the map right now, including the hero itself, just sitting back in the base, caged. Absolutely the worst possible situation for this hero. needs to be out there, needs to be active, needs to be cutting lanes, but is doing nothing of the kind. So LGD say, forget about the Aegis. If you're not going to prevent us from pushing, we're going to punish you for it. This moment, QO does pause. Light went down in their room. But, all right, we're going.
Maybe I think they may just have to song and look to try and use that to set up at this point, because otherwise this is just going to be another free lane of racks.
Already the tower's down, and maybe just keeps on banging on the front door. He stops to hit creeps. He has mercy on the buildings. Glyph already popped, and they will engage with the song. But a nice shards kept a couple people back, and the Wisp is just too far away. The Weave gets deployed. It's just stalling tactics. They didn't even have the Queen of Pain in position. So LGD runs, and they know there's no reset tool any longer. They turn back for the racks. Maybe does. He hits it once. Now he's just standing and holding position while Sylar jumps in. He's fighting against 4. He kills Febby solo. He may pay on the way out. Could go for the Bloodstone tonight if they don't focus him down. They finger him, but there's the grave from Zhao. It's a fallout from Sylar, and all the while the rest of LGD dealing with the structures in MVP being overrun and completely crushed by the massive gold item experience advantage accrued by LGD as they slaughter MVP within their own base, deep behind the throne. They dive, they kill, they leave nobody surviving aside from the Queen of Pain, and now they've thrown it. No, okay, they go back, maybe they go Megas, maybe they go Throne. LGD, they'll have their pickings of the MVP base.
Yeah, it's over. March calls it. GG. Game 1 going to go LGD's way. And it just became too much all about the Naga Siren. Like, you mentioned it, like, at some point, you get Tiny, Storm both off to such a fantastic start, and yeah, Naga delayed the game by about 30 minutes longer than it could have gone for with how far ahead LGD were, but LGD just polished play from start to finish.
Great performance by LGD. They now grab another point, and they've got a shot to end... Well, I think this is their last game of the day, this match. Believe it is.
No teams play more than 2 games a day, so...